Greetings, my friends, and welcome once again to this edition of Art and Coffee, the video series dedicated to helping you find and forge your own unique voice in the realms of art and visual storytelling. As always, it's yours truly, Gabe Dunston. It's been a while between episodes, my apologies, but I'm sure glad we're back, and let's go ahead and get to the rest of this one. Today's coffee is kind of weird. Today's coffee is actually the store brand coffee from my local Lowe's Foods. They started, roasting their own beans. They have them out in these cute little barrels in the front of the store, and they've got them in these neat little craft paper bags, and you can get as much or as little whole beans as you want, and gotta say, not terrible. It's more or less reiterating the eternal truth that as long as you're getting whole beans and you can brew the coffee, grind it yourself to maintain freshness, and then brew it any old way you like, you can turn a mediocre coffee into something that you would rather enjoy. And this coffee's it's one step above mediocre. I got the medium roast, and it's very medium. It's like every whole bean coffee. It is head and shoulders above a giant can of Folgers, but it's perhaps a solid step below my beloved counterculture hologram, and perhaps also a solid step below my second beloved Oak City coffee roasters. My favorite blend of the Oak City roasters changes with the seasons. It seems like he never has the same bean for too long. He kind of keeps them rotating, and that's all right. That's all right. So let's get into today's meat. This is the next episode so that I can finish the topic, things that you can do instead of go to art school if you're trying to pursue a career in the arts, particularly the storytelling arts, which is your illustration, your comics arts, your animations, in that vein. So where we left off was talking about the Oatly Academy, which I still recommend, assuming it's still an academy, but it's worth looking up. Look up Christopher Oatly, join his mailing list, see what happens. It don't cost you anything. And now, we're going to move into my favorite. This is the online course that I personally have not taken, but if I ever take an online course again, and I probably will, this is the one I've got my eye on, and it is Schoolism. Schoolism.com. SCHOOLISM.com. Schoolism was originally created by a hardworking man named Bobby Chu, an artist from Canada who came from a long line of teachers. And Bobby started teaching people and teaching more and more people around him. And if memory serves, he was in the animation industry. And he started gathering more people around him who liked to teach, people like Steven Silver. And he started some online communities that were really taking off. And Bobby apparently has got quite a talent for teaching. So we got together, a bunch of lessons and a bunch of other artists, and he put together Schoolism, online courses, and workshops for people like you and me. Regular folks who are definitely not in Burbank or surrounding areas that could sure benefit from the knowledge. So like most of the other online courses, these are video courses where you watch a lesson, but there's a twist. You watch your lesson, you do the exercises, and then you send them the exercises that you did, and the artist giving the course critiques what you've made. And this comes in two tiers. If you want just the lessons, where they give you a lesson and then they give you some practicing to do on your own, it's $30 a month, and you can access all of the courses on Schoolism. But if you want to be one of the critiqued students, well, then you've got to sign up for it like it's any other college course. Meaning you've got to know when the registration date is and register on time, because these classes fill up. And it's about $1,000 per course. Now, if you're anything like me, you're hearing that $1,000 price point and you're going, whoa, hold on, back up. That's $1,000. That is a lot. But my friends, it is a steal at that price. I know it doesn't sound like it. It is a lot of money. You're absolutely right. But remember, you're doing this as your art school. So instead of dropping $50,000 just for one year or one semester, depending on which school you're talking about, $1,000 one course, and you are getting personal critiqued information from an artist that you can look up right now. These artists are working professionals. They are in the business probably that you want to be in. They've been doing this forever. They're extremely good. They're not somebody who may have had a checkered path on their way to teaching. This is where I need to be careful, because so many teachers are true believers who are working really hard to teach you the best that they can and give you the best information that they can. And here where I live, teachers are not treated with the kind of respect that they really ought to be given. And the profession is not treated with the respect that it should have. Teachers save more lives than doctors. Because how would we have any doctors if there were no medical schools full of medical teachers? However, in my own personal art school experience, there were some true believer teachers who were in it to win it, man. From the word go, they said, I don't want to just be an artist, I want to be an art teacher. I want to teach this. I'm so on fire with my love of art, I want to spread this love. And, hats off to these teachers, because they work hard, they get it done, and they make a difference. And I had a couple of these teachers, and I'll never forget them. But a lot of art teachers are just failed artists. They went to school, they wanted to be an artist, it got really hard. They said, this is too hard, what else can I do? And going into teaching, there's a much clearer path to that career. There's a lot less up in the air. So yeah, they went into teaching or art history. A lot of kids I knew who came to school to be artists just said, never mind, making the stuff is too hard. I'll just study the stuff instead, because that's not nearly as hard and is frankly more fun, and I risk less. But I digress. The bottom line is, the best teachers I've ever had were not just teachers, but also practitioners in every discipline that I'm interested in. All my best writing teachers were still writing novels and still getting published. All of my best music teachers were still gigging musicians. All of my best art teachers were still active artists. Now, each one of these is on a part-time basis because teaching is a full-time job. Teaching itself is a deeply complex discipline that requires a lot of work and a lot of experience to do well. But all of the best teachers were teachers first and artists second. However, they were still working artists. And so with schoolism, what you're getting are individual teachers that you can personally vet. You can look them up, and they're all working artists. They're all practitioners in the art. You get guys like Bobby Chu, who are working artists. They're good at what they do, but they also come from a long line of teachers, and they've got a great love of teaching so that they can combine these two things. So $1,000 a course for that individual attention, it's nothing. That's nothing. And you can do this on your own time. You can save up some money, write a check, and boom, no debt. And if you just can't scrape up the money, or you can't justify the cost, cool. For $30 a month, $30 a month, you have access to all of the lessons that Schoolism offers. And let me go ahead and go through the lessons. What they're offering right here and right now is gesture drawing with Alex Wu, introduction to digital painting with Andrew Howe, painting creatures with Bobby Chu, digital painting with Bobby Chu, painting with light and color, with Tonko House and Cody Grimes. I don't know those names, but that sounds cool, and you can look them up. The bios are right there. Digital painting, characters for animated film, painting with light and color, story-driven illustrations, watercolor fundamentals, the art of caricature, realistic portraits, environments and light, understanding textures. Those are huge. Like, texture artists are in demand. If you're working in like CGI, and especially for films and TV. The essentials of realism, introduction to ZBrush, which is 3D modeling, which is also something that is really in demand. 3D modelers, riggers, that sort of thing. If you're interested in concept art, otherwise known as visual development, surprise, surprise, yeah, learning ZBrush, super important. The most successful concept artists that I look up to the most right now, both of them have to not just come up with a concept, but they also 3D model it themselves. Look into it. storyboarding, designing with color and light, pictorial composition, landscape sketching in watercolor and gouache, otherwise pronounced gouache. Lighting for story and concept art, that's huge. People do not know how to light their drawings correctly all the time, and what a difference that makes. And by people, I mean myself. That's why I love black and whites, because lighting is such a weakness for me. Fundamentals of lighting, fundamentals of character design with Steven Silver. That one's huge. Steven Silver is a personal hero of mine, and when the day comes, I will drop money on that course. Absolutely 100%. Holy crow, Steven Silver. It's incredible. Exploring character styles with Steven Silver, also on my to-watch list. Creature anatomy, drawing fundamentals, oil painting, introduction to visual development, expressive characters, which that's huge. Getting your characters to emote is the hardest part. Getting to do it effectively is wonderful. And conceptual characters. And those are all the courses that they're offering right now. And the two names on here that I recognize are Bobby Chu, who's been doing this for a long time and is extremely good at it, and Steven Silver, who is a personal hero, and he just rules. And man, I wish I had that money in my bank account right now. I want to sign up for that course right now. So that's Schoolism, and that wraps up the paid courses that I'm aware of where, small fee and you can get some dedicated classes towards your art. Now, of course, art, like most other disciplines, is one of those things where you get better by doing. So do on your own as much as you can, and you could use these other things to kind of supplement all of the doing that you should be doing already. So let's get into a list of free stuff that you could do. First and foremost is to consume as much art as you can. If you are a writer, the rule is called write a lot, read a lot. If you're an artist, take in as much art as you can. The art that you love. If it's comics, read a boatload of comics as much as you can. If it's kids' books, you should be at your local library every week getting just a stack of those things, man. Fun fact, libraries are carrying more and more comics every day, so check your local library for those. If you're into animation, watch. Not just a lot of TV. Watch TV, watch movies, but watch the stuff that's online. Watch the weird, cutting-edge, experimental stuff. That's a lot of gold can be found on the fringes. And not only there, you got to do what's called protein watching. You got to do the watching that's good for you. You got to do the watching that's not just you're sitting in front of a TV or some screen and vegging out. You're watching something studiously. And that's why, the animated shorts on the internet, places like Newgrounds and whatnot, the stuff that's on the fringes, that's where the new ideas come from. Adult Swim is where the new ideas came from. It's old hat now, but Aqua Teen Hunger Force was ridiculously cutting edge for its time. Just that style of absurdity humor was not a thing, let alone popular, when it first came out. And it really helped to set the tone and really helped to launch Adult Swim and Adult Swim's original content in the first place. So that's the big key here. We'll call it protein consumption, where you're getting the good stuff that you're actively seeking out and you're actively watching or actively reading, not just sitting back and enjoying. By all means, enjoy. If you're into movies, man, watch classic movies. Like, go out, watch the original Universal Frankenstein. It's incredible. Watch Nosferatu. Like, if you're into horror, watch the original silent film Nosferatu. And you can just see where so many horror devices in movies have come from since then. Watch the old classic Disney movies. Go and watch Snow White, the first feature-length animation. It's incredible. Go watch the black and white Mickey Mouse shorts. Watch the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes shorts next to the Disney shorts. Watch them next to each other, because what you're doing is, if you're protein watching, you're getting a definite sense of the different sensibilities between these two studios. One studio put a lot of emphasis on smoothness and attractive character designs. And the other studio put their emphasis on humor and on character in general. For instance, Mickey Mouse, not a whole lot of character there. Bugs Bunny, a lot of character there. So that's something you can do. The next thing you do is find artists that you like, find artists that you love, learn their names, and research the artists themselves. If they're dead, they probably have a biography or some people talking about them. They may have some interviews, and those interviews are all over YouTube. If they're alive, follow them. Send an email, send a message, be like, hey, I like your stuff, you rule. It never hurts anybody's feeling to do that. Get on YouTube, and like for instance, get on YouTube and find interviews. There's interviews with guys like Alex Ross on YouTube, and that rules. Alex Ross is a painter. He made the graphic novel Kingdom Come. Branch out. If you're not into superheroes, and I'm not, you have to understand that so much American comics come from superhero comics, and the superhero stuff was really forward-thinking at one point. So go back way in time, read the original Jack Kirby comics, try to get through the old-timey speak as best you can. That's more of your protein reading. That's where it is. If you're into illustration, look at classic old illustrations from 100 years ago. And if your artists are still alive, chances are they're still making cool stuff. Find out the cool stuff that they're making. Find where they are online and follow them. And you might be surprised. One of my personal heroes, Steven Silver, he's got a video series. It's Monday Morning Art Talk. He puts a 1-minute inspirational video on Instagram, which rules. It's really nice because he's just so on fire and he wants you to do it and he wants you to just make your art, and he's got this little English lilt. It's kind of charming. And he's just so excited and he wants you to stay excited about art. And so just like I found that guy and I followed him, and I've learned so much from this guy over the years because he just puts the information out there. You're on YouTube right now, you're on my channel, I sure appreciate it, I can't thank you enough. But there's a bunch of other stuff on YouTube, and different channels do different things for different people. One of my favorite channels was Will Terrell's channel. Look him up. Will, Willterrell, 2 R's, 2 L's. And what Will does is he's the super sweetheart guy who's very enthusiastic and very good, and he shares his people drawings in his toned sketchbook. Like, he really inspired me to put more drawings in my toned sketchbook, and really inspired me because like him, I also like to just go sit in public and people watch and draw the interesting people I see. And his very compelling drawings let me know it's like, oh, I can, like, my own drawings might be compelling too. That's really nice. It's a very affirming feeling. But different channels do different things, man. There's this other guy, Kevin Cross. I've been following this guy since 2007. He's another guy who's a lifelong illustrator. He's been doing it forever. And he started this challenge called the 100 Days of Making Comics. And this guy is a hard-working dude. And watching this hard-working guy working on his comics being so real and so upfront about his daily challenges, that's inspiring. And both Will Terrell and Kevin Cross, what they're doing is they're giving you shows where they're keeping you company while you're also drawing. But then you've got guys like Jazza, Jazza. Jazza has art challenges, but also a lot of art tutorials. Not just art tutorials, but animation tutorials, which is really fun and interesting. And if tutorials are what you're into, may I also plug my good buddy Chris Wharton, ChrisWharton. Both Jazza and Wharton have this very sweet, very compelling, clean line style. And both their art is extremely clean, very line driven, very, very compelling. The character designs and whatnot are wonderful. And Chris Wharton has got these great tutorials on here's how to draw a face, here's how to draw a hair, here's something I did for Inktober, stuff like that. Terrific artist, highly recommend it. Chris Wharton is straight up one of my top 4 all-time favorite artists. Please look him up. Draw with Jazza, also great. Running short on time, and I'm dedicated to not just running over and chatting forever and ever and ever. So let me go ahead and sum up and repeat some things. Schoolism, super good. I recommend it. But also, just like, don't forget to consume a lot of the art that you're trying to make. Don't let it rule you. Like, branch out. Read the stuff that you wouldn't normally read, watch the movies you wouldn't normally watch, and do it with a discerning eye, the eye towards learning. And find artists who really resonate with you and follow them. Because, like, we're all out here putting out stuff, not just seeking an audience, but also trying to share our own love and our own sensibilities towards art. We're trying to share the love. So if you find the artist that really resonates with you, man, you can find and help to kindle and stoke the fires of your own deep love of art. It can really help you keep going. And also, it's a way that you can find mentors and make friends. Drop some comments, send some emails, say, hey, this stuff is great, this helped out, I appreciate it. Me personally, every time I get a comment like that, boy, it just makes my day. I was at a concert once with my wife, and we listened to this local band, and they were great. And Megan said, "Wow, that was really good. That guitar player's especially good." And I said, "Baby, go up and talk to him, tell him." And she's like, "Oh, I don't want to disturb him." So, to her I said, and to you all I say, musicians freaking love it when you tell them that you like their music. Artists love it when you tell them that you like their art. Especially an artist like your Chris Wharton or your Draw with Jazza or your Steven Silver, who takes time out of their day to share the knowledge that they accrued over years, because they're just trying to share their love. And if you get back to that artist and say, hey, it worked, this helped, this rules, thank you, what a difference that makes. Just, man, anytime I get a positive comment on here or on my Instagram or in person, just wow, makes my day, and I love it. And that's the final lesson. Don't forget to share your own love, share your love of art, share your love of storytelling. It's huge. It's literally the thing that makes the world go round, and you can make just what a huge difference in somebody's day and somebody's life by just expressing a genuine gratitude. And so with that, I would like to say to you, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Take care of yourself, take care of your friends, and make art.